Every person dreams of success. We all want to rise higher, to be respected, admired, unstoppable. But there's one invisible force that destroys more dreams than failure ever could. It lives quietly inside every one of us. And its name is ego. Ego is not confidence. It's not self-belief. It's that small voice that says, "I'm better than them. I don't need to listen. I already know enough." And once you start believing that voice, you stop growing. You stop learning. You stop evolving. Today, let's go deep. Let's uncover what ego really is, how it destroys us, and how you can defeat it before it defeats you. Because if you don't master your ego will master you. Ego is not always loud. Sometimes it's quiet. Sometimes it hides behind your achievements. It's that feeling that makes you think you're too good to fail. In psychology, ego is the part of your mind that gives you identity. It's not bad until it takes control. When ego grows too big, it turns into arrogance, pride, and blindness. It's like a fog that covers your vision. You stop seeing reality. Ryan Holiday, the author of Ego is the Enemy, said something powerful. Ego is the enemy of what you want, and of what you have, of mastering a craft, of real creative insight, and of working well with others. And he's right, because ego doesn't want truth. It wants validation. It doesn't want progress. It wants attention. Think about it. How many times have you stopped learning because you already thought you knew? How many relationships were broken because you couldn't say, "Sorry"? That's ego in action. Ego is like fire, useful when controlled, but destructive when unleashed. Let's take an example. Once upon a time, there was a boxer who called himself the greatest, Muhammad Ali. But the difference between his confidence and ego was that he backed every word with discipline. He trained harder than anyone, even when he was the champion. He never let fame make him lazy. That's confidence. But then, look at other champions who lost everything because of arrogance. They stopped training, stopped learning, started believing they were untouchable. And ego burned them to the ground. Same in business. Nokia, once the king of mobile phones, said, "We don't need to change." They laughed at the iPhone, and within years, they vanished. Why? Ego. Ego blinds you from reality. It tells you, you're too good to fail. But failure always comes to those who stop adapting. Let's look at some legends who defeated their ego and became unstoppable. 1. Steve Jobs. When he was fired from Apple, the company he built, his ego could have destroyed him. He could have blamed everyone. But instead, he reinvented himself. He learned humility through failure. He created Pixar, which changed animation forever. And when he returned to Apple, he came back wiser, calmer, more focused. That's how ego was turned into purpose. 2. Kobe Bryant. Early in his career, Kobe was known for being selfish. He didn't pass the ball, didn't trust his teammates. But as he matured, he realized that ego doesn't win championships. Teamwork does. He humbled himself, learned from veterans, listened to coaches. And that's how he became one of the greatest players in NBA history. 3. Nelson Mandela. 27 years in prison. He had every reason to hate, to seek revenge. But he didn't. He put his ego aside for the sake of peace. And because of that humility, South Africa found unity. All these people had power, talent, intelligence, but their greatness came from controlling their ego, not feeding it. Ego doesn't destroy you overnight. It kills you slowly, step by step. First, it makes you defensive. You stop listening to feedback. Then, it makes you jealous. You can't stand others doing better. Next, it makes you overconfident. You stop preparing, stop improving. And finally, it isolates you. Because ego can't coexist with growth. Let's make it simple. Ego says, I'm right. Humility says, let's learn. Ego says, I'm special. Humility says, I'm human. Ego says, I deserve this. Humility says, I'll earn it. The truth is, ego destroys peace, success, and relationships. You start living for applause instead of purpose. Remember, the moment you think you've arrived, you've already started falling. So how do you fight ego? Not by hating yourself, but by knowing yourself. Stay a student. Never stop learning. Even when you're successful, act like you're just beginning. Bruce Lee once said, empty your cup so it may be filled. Become devoid to gain totality. Seek feedback. Don't surround yourself with people who flatter you. Surround yourself with people who challenge you. Practice gratitude. Ego wants more. Gratitude reminds you of what you already have. Admit mistakes. Saying, I was wrong, doesn't make you weak. It makes you wise. Serve others. The surest way to shrink your ego is to do something that doesn't benefit you, but helps others. Remember, the most powerful person in the room is not the loudest. It's the one who listens. Success is a test, not a reward. When you win, the world claps for you, and your ego starts whispering again. It tells you, you're the best. You don't need to change. But the truth is, success requires more discipline than failure. That's why true leaders stay humble even at the top. Look at Cristiano Ronaldo. Even after winning everything, he trains like a beginner. Because he knows, the moment he lets ego in, his edge is gone. And remember this, you can't fill a full cup. The moment your mind is full of ego, there's no space left for growth. So here's the truth. You will never be destroyed by others. You will only be destroyed by yourself. Ego will whisper lies. It will make you forget your roots, your purpose, your humanity. But humility will guide you back home. So be proud, but never arrogant. Be confident, but never blind. Be strong, but never forget compassion. Because when ego dies, the soul awakens. And that's where true greatness begins.